Hey, we're in my bathroom because I had my first ever mini podcast debacle, and I'm going to tell you about it briefly because unfortunately we lost the intro to this episode. If you're already confused and you just turned this on, hi guys, welcome. This is the Anna Guide. This is an exclusive episode, one of a kind, that I'm hoping to happen a little bit more regularly, but for this episode specifically, I wanted to bring you guys with me while I'm in Paris for the Paris 2024 Olympics and share some bits and pieces of what's been happening while I've been here. Now, this episode initially took place today in a park. So, we're going to get to that in a moment, but the truth is, I had two debacles today. We're in Paris. This is getting right into the juicy details of the day. I gather my things. I pack a bag. We go to this park that I don't know how to say the name of. Parc Monceau. Someone help me. Monceau. That's the park I went to today. Stunning, a work of art, literally the most beautiful things. I couldn't believe that I even got to witness it firsthand, let alone just get to be there. So we go to this park and I'm like, I'm going to record my podcast episode here. I set up my cameras. I open up my blanket. I have two special guests that you're going to see on the episode in a minute. I sit down. I click record. And there's no memory cards inside of the cameras. Someone didn't want me to record today, but you know what I did? Google instantly. Found out there's a camera store, a Leica specifically, which is already dangerous because if I walk into a Leica, I'm walking out with a camera. Okay. I can't stop myself, but I find a Leica store a mile away. And while I've been in Paris, I've been here for 2 weeks for the Olympics. I've unlocked a brand new obsession, which is biking. I am obsessed with biking, okay? An unhealthy amount, to the point that if there's an option to bike or do anything else, find me on the bike, okay? Anna in Paris, zooming on a bike, okay? So here's the tea. I get my bike, I get on it, I start biking to the camera store. I get to Leica, I'm like, do you guys have SD cards? And they're like, yes, we have 128s, here you go. And I go, great, I'm gonna need 4. Why? Do I actually need 4? No. I have anxiety that I'm gonna put that card into my camera and it's not gonna work. Has it ever happened before? No. Is it still an irrational fear and I bought 4 SD cards? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I get my SD cards, I put them in the bag, I get back on my bike, I'm pedaling for all that's worth because I'm like, I can't let the sun go away. There's clouds rolling in. The weather here has been weird. It's been toasty, but today it's finally cool. Doesn't stop me from sweating. Pedaling my way, although you can hear my feet going. Ready? That's my pedaling feet. I hit this intersection, and in Paris, they are very bike friendly, okay? So we hit this intersection. I'm going to paint this picture for you. Roads going 7 different directions, okay, crossing this one single intersection. So I'm looking for the little identifier for where the bike is supposed to be coming through. I find it. I'm sitting in my lane. I see exactly the trajectory of where I'm supposed to go, and then I hear, okay. In the U.S., we stop for those. I have an international driver's license, but I've never driven in Paris. And from the bike, I'm assuming that they also stop for police cars. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait out these sirens. They're going to go away. I see the 2 cops on bikes right through. These sound effects, guys, I don't think I've ever been a sound effects girly. I'm hooked. These cops on bikes go through. And I'm like, okay, the cops are clear, right? That's the end of it. I start pedaling, guys. And I don't know what I was thinking. I shot the gap of 2 Mercedes Sprinters with that were major security. You want to know why there were cops on bikes? Because 7 more ended up showing up to deliver whoever was inside of the Mercedes Sprinters. So I don't know if it was Kendall Jenner or if it was somebody from the embassy, but I almost died. I was wondering why everybody was honking their horn at me too. And I was like, guys, I'm a bike. Literally, I'm in my lane. I'm supposed to be here. I wasn't supposed to be there. So I made it though. And I got there and I put the SD cards in the cameras. I start recording. I sit down. I record 7 minutes. We are at 5 minutes and 26 seconds on my little mic right now. I see 7 minutes. And I'm like, we're eating this up. I'm telling this story from the park. And then the next time that I look down at the microphone, it's frozen. Frozen. Like, don't get me wrong, I have stunning footage of me in the park, just absolutely chilling. But it's useless because you can't hear me from as far away as the cameras are to the microphone that's in my hand. So unfortunately, I did have to pull the batteries out of the device in order to make it shut off so I could turn it back on and try again. And in that process, I lost all of the recording footage of the entire opening of this episode. So with that being said, welcome to Anna's Guide. That's the opening of the episode. I'm so happy that you're here. I can't believe we're in Paris. Listen, being in Paris for the Olympics, not on the bingo card. Having a podcast, not on the bingo card. Doing my podcast in Paris during the Olympics, not on my lifetime bingo card, okay? But here we are. So listen, you want to know what I think that calls for? Today's lesson, say yes to adventure. You're going to hear that theme over and over and over again throughout this episode because I brought two special people who said yes to adventure and are now in Paris going to the Olympics with me. We've somehow salvaged tickets to so many incredible Olympic games. We got to see swimming, we got to see volleyball, and it's just the beginning. It feels like even though I leave in a few days, I have been here for 2 weeks already. And I can't believe in my life that I got to see some of the most iconic, incredible athletes performing and competing in sports that they spend their whole life training to do. It's jaw-dropping. And on top of that, a little moment for girlhood. First off, women's gymnastics. Second off, Katie Ledecky. Third, the first Olympic Games in history that has parity. That's equal men and women athletes. And even I went to this presentation. It was a beautiful fashion show where they had some of the women athletes from previous games, current games, and their daughters were there and Paralympics. It was incredible. They did a fashion show, so they walked in the show and they were sharing facts about this Olympics, even down to the volunteers. It's equally split men and women. What? Did you know the Olympics was last hosted in 1924? Exactly 100 years ago in Paris. And they said it had 4% women. Listen, I might need to fact check myself, but if I remember that correctly, it was something insane. When the Olympics was hosted in Paris in 1904 or something, there was 2% women. Then in 1924, there was 4% women. And now we are finally in 2024 with 50-50. Now it's taken us a long time to get here, but listen, we did it. Ooh! Yay for the girlies. So I feel like this whole week has been feeling like a week of women empowerment. Every event I've gone to has been talking about women in sports and how iconic they are. I got to meet some of the coolest women NBA players. I have had the best week just meeting the girlies and watching them all be so passionate and powerful and beautiful. I've heard so many incredible conversations about body positivity, about women empowerment, about women in sports, about women in coverage. That needs to be a whole podcast episode on its own. But while I've been in Paris, the main focus has been the Olympics, obviously. My boyfriend is here. If you're wondering why I am here, actually, too. I am not here on a brand trip. I'm not here with anybody specifically. I'm here to be very supportive for my boyfriend, who is hosting a nighttime show with NBC. So he has been doing a nightly broadcast every single night from 10:45 to 11:45 on NBC Olympics, TikTok, and it's pretty much a live stream where they're doing it in front of a live audience. It literally is giving late night show. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to be there in person. And the production on it is just top tier value. So I've been here with him, and while I've been here, I kind of had to step away from what I've usually been doing. I know, super tough. I have to spend 2 weeks in Paris. That's my dream come true. I would love to live in Paris at some point, and that was sarcastic in case that didn't come off that way. I know that I'm so lucky that I get to be standing here right now and sharing in these awesome experiences with my partner. But something that I wasn't home for that happened while I was here was my PacSun Swimwear launch number 2. Okay? And I just want to take a quick moment to say, if you haven't gone to PacSun.com and checked it out, I just launched my second swimwear line with PacSun, inspired by the Midwest, inspired by my home state of Michigan. I photographed it in South Haven, the beaches that I grew up going to as a kid, and just got to take a moment to show off the state that I love. Each of the suits are named after towns that I grew up going to, like Ludington and Traverse for Traverse City, and Haven for South Haven or Grand Haven. And of course, Marshall and Kalamazoo made the cut, and Ida even made the cut, which is where my boyfriend's from. I didn't grow grow up going there, but I spend a lot of time in Ida now because of Brew. So it's been so fun and exciting to like bring this new project to life. My first swimwear line was very like California summer, beachy Malibu girlies, like kind of this very just elevated level of swimwear and inspired by the colors of sunrises and sunsets and like California coast. When PacSun asked me to come back around, and at first initially asked me just to redesign the best sellers and new colorways, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see the ombre swimsuit in like, I think I was going to do blue to purple or something. And I was like, I can't wait to see like me mix up all these colors. I wanted to have the sparkly one in like a funky yellow or like in an orange. I was so prepared for the mix up of colorways. And once I got there, they pitched this idea that I launch another swimwear line at the start of August. And I was like, you know what? The first thing that comes to mind, like me, what am I buying a swimsuit for at the start of August? A Michigan lake summer. Like in August, Michigan is peak weather. The lakes have finally warmed up from like months and months and months of the winter cold. So I wanted suits that were sporty and fun and usable but chic, like ones that I would want to wear walking to the beach and walking home from the beach and in my backyard with the sprinklers on, and while I'm getting that like final last little bit of like summer tan. So this collection is just inspired by my Midwest girls. It's inspired by, like, when I think of the colors of this collection, I instantly just imagine like a red barn in a cornfield with a blue sky and a lake. Okay? That's like all you need to know. And it feels like home. And I love that so much. So while I've been here, I had the launch of my PacSun Swimwear line, which is my second one with them. There's so many fun projects to come. I'm so honored to get the chance to do that. I remember when I first started with even like posing videos, or I walked to Miami Swim Week, and now I have a swimwear line with my name on it. Like, someone pinch me. I'm losing my marbles. So it's been an incredible week. So this is the part of the episode where we're going to cut and go on an adventure, because like I said in today's episode, it's all about saying yes to adventure. And there's two very special people in my life who did say yes to adventure. And that is my little brother, Michael, and one of my very close friends, Danielle. Both live in California, and they packed up and came to Paris to spend the Olympics with me. So let's go check out what it looks like on this adventure with the two of them, and on this exclusive episode of the Anna Guide, over in a park. So we're sitting in a park in Paris, like I said earlier, chilling on a random Friday afternoon. It's what, 3 p.m.? We're going to the Louvre after. It's about 81 degrees outside. We just ate sandwiches. Danielle has a baguette. We're living our best life because these two showed up in Paris while I was here for the Olympics. And I'd like to introduce you, my first two guests. I didn't know you guys were going to be my first two guests. I thought this Thursday's episode was going to be my first guest. But on an exclusive episode, on an exclusive podcast with exclusive people, my first two guests, Danielle.
Hi.
Close friend. And my little brother, Michael.
Hey, guys.
Slay. Have you been on a podcast before?
No.
So this is also your exclusive podcast debut?
Yeah.
Good. We have one microphone, so be prepared for me to look like the host with the most, because I'm about to have an arm workout. And we're going to talk to you about the Olympics, because these two decided to fly across the country and a big old ocean because they love me so much that they want to hang out with me. What can I say?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks. Anything else you want to add?
I was pressured into this.
Don't say. Okay. Listen, it's true. I bought her room and I forced her to come. But they came anyway. Listen, Danielle actually went through a very difficult travel day to get to Paris. And it's our first time. It's her first time, not my first time, but our first time collectively and her first time individually in Paris. Do you want to tell us about your travel day a little bit?
Yeah, just one of those nightmares that delay after delay, and was supposed to leave at 4 p.m. and left at 1:30 a.m.
Oof.
Oof.
Oof. But, we do have. Michael had an easy travel day.
So easy.
Do you want to tell us the first thing you did when you got off the airplane?
Got off the airplane, hopped in a taxi, and went straight to the beach volleyball games. I caught the last game of Wednesday morning. It was Paraguay versus Latvia. Very fun game to watch, and a great way to start off the trip, just straight into the Olympics.
Right into the Olympics. And I feel like the Olympics have been a different experience than what I was expecting.
first thing, I feel like the events are smaller than I thought. Like, swimming was a big arena, but I felt like beach volleyball did not have a lot of seats.
No, it's definitely limited.
Yeah, like I was expecting it to be like when you see the videos of like the size of the arena with the Eiffel Tower in the back, I'm like imagining like a football stadium. It wasn't a football stadium. It was quite small, but it was incredible because then I feel like every seat was like, I could see the sweat on the athletes. It was incredible. We've attended 2 events so far. Michael touched on the first. Actually, Michael's touched on both of them. No, because you haven't said what your favorite part of Paris has been so far. That was the introduction that just didn't work. So, Michael,
Okay.
retell your story for me about what your favorite part of Paris has been.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll start with talking about going to see Olympic swimming today. So the events we got to see, we went to men's 100 breast, and these were heats events. They weren't semifinals or finals. Yeah, men's 100 fly, sorry. Excuse me. And we saw women's 800 free, the mixed 400 medley relay, which was a super cool race to get to see. I didn't realize they had it set up that way. It was very competitive, really exciting. The crowd was electric during that.
Yeah.
And the other event, it was the 400 IM, right?
200 I am.
200 IM. Another very competitive, cool event to see. Really, we got a great array of swimming events and also competitors too.
Yeah. We saw Katie Ledecky.
Yep.
Caleb Dressel.
Yep. And then
Katie Douglas.
yes.
There's a gal in the 800 that came in second. Emma.
For US, yeah.
We can't remember her last name, but Emma.
And getting to go see an event like that where the crowd is just, everyone's so into it and honestly rooting for everyone. The competitors are so strong and just a stunning venue. It's a really special experience, especially having been swimmers ourselves growing up and swimming through high school and now still doing some swimming. It's just, I can't. You're nervous for the athletes.
Yeah.
You know, you really feel it when you're in there.
100%.
That's super special to be around.
I think it's so funny. Mike and I were sitting there Googling the ages of the oldest Olympic swimmers to be like, could we make it in the 2028 Olympics if we started training yesterday? And honestly, the truth is, yeah, there's some people who are in their 40s who go to at least the qualifier, which I think is a huge step to at least go to the Olympic qualifiers. That's crazy.
One of the athletes, when we were sitting next to each other, they had said this was her 6th Olympics, I think, right? Yeah.
Oh my
6.
gosh.
So you got plenty of time.
We're going to make it. Listen, if you see us on the mixed relay, Sitar Squad, you know why. But do you have a favorite part of Paris so far?
Or just in general, the whole trip?
Of anything so far. It's Danielle's first time, so yeah, favorite part.
I do have a lot of specific things that I loved, but I think just my favorite part overall is how relaxed the trip has been. I'm definitely the type to usually plan my schedule to the T and try and squeeze a lot in, especially if it's my first time in the city, hit all the big landmarks and see as much as I could. But it's been really nice to just have it be low pressure, enjoy company with each other, not be rushing around or feeling like we have to get anywhere, except for the one time that we did have to rush, the fastest I've ever gone.
We did have to rush. Let's tell this story, shall we? Thanks for that. Thank you for that transition. Also, Danielle, fun fact, was a national champion in public speaking. So if you see Danielle doing flawless transitions and also is the most well-spoken person you've ever heard, that's the tea. She might end up becoming a reoccurring guest star at this point because I can't even say reoccurring. So we had one day that we rushed, which there's a few things that we wanted to hit this trip to Paris, and that was the Olympics, a couple dinners. What do we have today? Le Louvre.
Yeah.
And Le Louvre.
What are we doing?
What else did we want to do? What else did we do?
We got, I say we.
It was for me.
We made sure that Anna
Thank you.
was able to go to the Jellycat Patisserie, I think it's called.
I just love that they're so small and they're just have little faces on them. So we did go to the Jellycat Museum. And then yesterday, we had one of the most important lunches, late lunch, at 1:15. We got a reservation at the Michelin star restaurant inside of the Eiffel Tower, which was a 7-course meal. Now, The problem is Anna doesn't check her emails. And Anna checked her email that morning to be like, how do we get in? What's the vibe? What are we doing? When I say morning, I'm going to say an hour and a half to 2 hours before the reservation was supposed to start. And I had noticed that I was wearing cute little like bubble shorts and a tank top. And the invite reservation alert specifically says men have to wear sport coats. Women like must be in dresses pretty much. No tennis shoes allowed. No shorts, specifically shorts. It's also 96 degrees outside. And we're like, are those rules flexible or do they actually want us in sport coats? And so what do we have to do?
We went and bought me a suit.
A full suit. And I also had to find a dress because we were out for the day and I was nowhere near my hotel. So we were like, we have to go find this now. We had about 25 minutes, I feel like.
It was nonstop a rush. Because first we went to one store that we thought maybe we both could find something at.
We went to Kith.
And the first suit jacket that we pulled off had a price tag with such shock value that I realized I wasn't going to be able to find a suit in there. So Danielle and I...
We had to leave.
And we found another store nearby. And the gentleman working there, it was one man running the store, and he must have had such shock from Danielle and I because we rush in there. The first suit that Danielle picks up, I try on and buy.
Immediately.
And it fit great. It's honestly my favorite suit I own. And I'll probably be buried in it now.
No. Not buried. Already agreed.
We have a plan. This gentleman was being so kind. Like, he was ready to bring out his best, like, customer service for us. And we were just these Americans that walked in, couldn't speak French, grabbed a suit off the rack, tried it on, was like, we need to check out. And he's like, I'll make an appointment for you to get it tailored. Like, just was trying so hard to be a good,
to be helpful and give you an experience of picking out a suit.
And we were like, you don't understand. And I think I told him we have a reservation at the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
And we need to go. And we spent less than 10 minutes in that store between walking in, you trying it on, checking out, and leaving.
So we checked out of the store maybe 12:50, and our reservation was 11:15. I mean 1:15.
That sounds about right. I had the same experience where I was like, don't even wrap it. I could literally wear this out of the store. Just give me the dress. I gotta go.
Well, you didn't get your shoes.
I did. I didn't even get a bag. I didn't try them on. I said I'm a size 39. She says, okay, we take it. And I was like, nope, I would like to pay. And she was like, oh, what if they're wrong? And I was like, they're gonna hurt, and we're gonna run. And we did. But get this, we ended up sending Josh a smidgen before us to go, and he ended up leaving and just making it there 30 minutes early. Never. Not to say that Josh is never early, but Josh is an on-time boy, okay? He's not an early boy. And so shocked when he's like, hey, guys, I just made it. And it's 12:55. And I'm like...
You sent me the text that he was there, and we had just... I don't even think we made it to my hotel room yet to get changed. So it was we were still sprinting back from the suit store, and it was Josh is already at the restaurant.
And I didn't even... No.
Oh, no.
We didn't have anything. So we stopped at Danielle's on the way, changed, sprinted out the door, got in an Uber, fastest Uber of our life too. I've never seen an Uber make it to the Eiffel Tower in 4 minutes.
So fast.
So fast. So get to the Eiffel Tower. We runway walked all the way to the Eiffel Tower. We get in this elevator. You get in this elevator that goes up one of the legs of the Eiffel Tower, and then you're the second tier of the inside of the Eiffel Tower with all glass windows around it. And we had a 7-course meal. All little bites. But delicious.
There's a key part of the story that's missing, and this is where
Tell me.
Josh really comes in and showed some of his prowess. Let's say the reservation was set just for 2 people, and it was because we couldn't find any. First off, we couldn't find any dinner reservations, much less lunch reservations that accommodated 4 people. 100%. But we thought we might as well try to see if we can get 4 of us in there, and sure enough, Josh was able to upgrade us from a 2-person table to a 4-person, which. I'm talking weeks out for this reservation.
We made this reservation 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So we're all able to enjoy a dinner together. I mean, a lunch together, which is super cool.
I don't know what he did, but I was proud. He made it happen.
It's extra impressive because we were late. I think not very. I mean, despite us rushing,
we only were about
15 minutes
maybe 15 minutes, 10, 15.
15 minutes late. Right.
Like, we actually made it with, like, some shocking time.
So just like extra credit to him, because not only did he get us more people at the table, but we weren't even there, and they like sat him at a big table with people that weren't there yet. So.
And he let him stay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we walked in, they were ready for us once we got there. But that was an incredible experience. I think that might have been my favorite part of the trip so far, was like the hecticness of that, but then also having like one really nice sit down meal of the four of us, because I think it's kind of hard right now to get a good time of all of us together. The three of us, I feel like I've spent the most time together, but making sure we kind of squeeze Josh in too, and like, you know, get some good quality time. He's coming to the Louvre tonight, so we'll make up for it. But it's been so fun just getting a chance to like see and travel with like family and friends. I feel like we always travel with our parents. This is like adulting.
Here we are. Look at us now.
Look at us now. But so, Danielle,
Yes.
it's your first time in Paris.
Oh, it is, yep.
And I have a question for you, specifically you, because if somebody hasn't been to Paris before, what is something you could have told your like past self, or the you right before you got here, that you did, that you were like, you have to do this when you're there, or like you have to say yes to this, or you know, like,
Oh, I have the best answer.
oh,
I have the best answer.
Take over.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
This is her moment.
No, you all would say this too if you asked yourself the same question.
Okay.
First off, I think it's hard for me to say like anything I would do differently because the Olympics are here. Like, I think there's maybe certain sites I would have tried to squeeze in, like Versailles, for example, but they're doing all the equestrian events at Versailles, so like now's not a good time to be a tourist and try it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think separate from that, the like number one recommendation is to get a city bike and bike everywhere.
I just said that my new passion is city biking. Continue.
It's to city bike everywhere. It took us like 2 days before we had the realization to do it. We're all also walkers. Like, we've chosen to walk everywhere in the city, which is something I also love to do when I'm traveling. It's such a great way to see where you are and get familiar with the place that we've been walking everywhere. But one of the times that we were in a time crunch, we all just jumped on city bikes. And luckily the drivers here are really respectful of people on the city bikes, but
Unless you're me and you go through the middle of a caravan of black Mercedes Sprinters.
it's true. But two or three times now I've taken the bike from 3 times from my hotel to your hotel, and I have to drive past the Arc, which is one of the best monuments in all of Paris. Like,
Yes.
gorgeous. There's also a traffic circle around.
With no lanes or directions.
So one, taking a city bike in this traffic circle is crazy, but it's been so like enjoyable for me that I'm just like taking this bike ride to your hotel, and I like pass this monument every single day. So all that to say, like, city bike, number one recommendation.
Wow.
You have to try it. It's
Okay.
been great.
I love that recommendation because I am going to back to LA and buy a bike. Also because we're doing a triathlon in 2 weeks that I haven't started training for. So that's to come. There will be a podcast episode immediately after. Be prepared for that exclusive episode of Danielle and I laying on the beach wondering why we chose this life. But I will agree. I think the city bikes have made such a difference.
Yeah.
And Michael, you haven't been back in a while. You came back as a kid. As an adult, like, what decisions do you like making for yourself? You know, like, when you're a kid, I feel like your parents are like, not to say museums aren't fun because we're literally going to one today, but like when you're with your parents, they're kind of the ones like running the show. What's things that you've enjoyed like in your adulthood being able to do on your own, like as a solo traveler on this trip specifically?
I think I have two answers for that. So first thing will be off of something Danielle said earlier, where it's a very laid back trip. Just, I don't know, even right now we're enjoying each other's company in a park and just, I don't know, taking things slow and easy and having fun. The other thing is, like, on the other spectrum, like, I've been walking home most nights, late at night, and finding
The girlies, remember to please be safe if you choose to do that. But for Michael, this is
for anyone, I am keeping a keen eye out, you know, as I'm walking around. But I don't know, I like to have headphones in, and it just gives me some time to think, and helps me get a little tired before I go to bed.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because every night I've almost had a different way of getting home. I'm either coming back from Danielle's hotel or Anna's hotel or dinner, and because of all the blockages on the road from the Olympics, a lot of like normal routes or the ways you'd think you'd want to get home are closed. So getting back to the hotel has been really fun and interesting because I run into these weird problems or I find new cool areas and get a problem solve my way out of them
Yeah.
and get back to
I love that. Okay, so we have like one last little thing I want to touch on is the next Olympics is happening in LA. Do you think you're going to stay in LA for it?
Hot topic. I haven't decided. I have 4 years to make a choice, which is great. But I can't tell. Now, after having been here, I think I would really I think I would look forward to being a part of it. But then the other half of me knows how crazy LA traffic already is, and just people in general, which makes me want to not be anywhere near the city. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
That makes sense. I feel that, Michael.
I'm in a similar boat. I think it.
You're also a little bit outside of the city, which is nice.
Yeah. There's just so many cool things going on. I feel like we only have so much time, and while you're doing one cool thing, another one's already going on.
Yep.
So just knowing so much will be going on in LA in 4 years, I think I would want to be there to see it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like even on this trip specifically, it's been incredible to just watch one event after another, so many wins. We've watched women's gymnastics from inside the Team USA house where the broadcast stream happens every night. We got to see swimming. I see Caleb Dressel. We got to see all these incredible athletes, one after another, just take home gold, support the U.S., make us all proud. But also, this is such a fun experience to get to, sit and see firsthand that I would never... I don't know. Not that, the Olympics feels like a little, distant event that you would think about, but you only get one every 4 years. So, we're ready for it to be in LA. Say yes to adventure!
Say yes to adventure.
You heard it here first, folks. Okay, my last little part of this, which I know this cameras are a little bit dying, so we're going to hope that my cameras don't go while I'm recording this part, but on my podcast, we do a rosebud thorn. If you haven't heard of them, a rose is the best thing, a thorn is the bad thing of the trip, and a bud is something that you're looking forward to. So I would like everybody to give their rosebud thorn. Danielle, would you like to go first?
Ooh, I have 2 of the 3. Okay. I can think on my feet.
Do you want me to go first, and then I'll give you time? Okay.
Sure.
I always start with my thorn because I like to start with the bad thing and then build up to the good stuff. The thorn of the trip. Okay, it's two-ended, double-ended. Is that Bruce working? So I feel like he's missing a lot of our little experiences that we're having as little family moment. But I'm so proud of him for what he's accomplishing on this trip, and the fact that what he's missing it for is something so worth it for his career, and such a huge step for him to be working with such a heavy hitter production company like NBC and on the news. It's okay, but I still get a little bit sad and a little lonely. My bud is that I'm looking forward to more travel with the two of you. My bud is that we mesh really well together. We've realized that on this trip, so we're a traveling trio. And my rose is that, honestly, I'm going to say swimming this morning. Swimming's going to be my rose. It was electric, like Michael said. Both of us swam in high school. I tried a little bit in college and I had an injury, so it was incredible to just sit there and be these are the people that it's who I admired the most for a lot of my childhood. So yeah, that's mine. Ladies first?
Sure. Okay. I'm still noodling on my last one, but we'll figure it out. Starting with the thorn, you said, right?
Yeah,
I think my thorn was just my travel debacle getting here, because I was supposed to land my first day here. I was supposed to land at 6 a.m, and I didn't end up landing until 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So it just sucked to lose an entire day, or at least it felt that way to me, to miss my whole first day here. And we had stuff planned that we didn't get to do, so that was a bummer. Just the beginning of the trip, but it picked up after that. We made up for it.
Yeah, we did.
The bud, I was going to say the same thing. I think we
the across the board bud.
Michael can still say something different. But yeah, I think just even the last 2 days, we've really enjoyed just spending time together, and we've already been talking about our next trip.
Nashville.
So maybe we'll pick one out of a hat. See where we go next. But that's a bud. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the rest of even today with you guys, and then doing more trips in the future. I think the rose is just, I think, being able to just go to the events. It's one thing to be in an Olympic city while it's happening. There's so much excitement and special events, but actually getting to witness it. And this morning at the swimming event, I didn't realize Katie Ledecky was going to be swimming, and I kept freaking out to Michael because I'm witnessing a legend. I can't believe I'm seeing with my own 2 eyes this swimming legend. Yeah. So that's been so much fun.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
I love that.
Michael?
Mike, bring it home.
I hate to say it, but I don't know if I have a thorn. I'm really trying to pick one out. You know what? It was carrying the yellow Louis Vuitton bag with all the podcast equipment in it. That was my cross of this trip.
That bag
Anna was smiling.
is a 45-pound child.
It was more than 45 pounds. I hope. Anna acted like there was no weight in that bag, and I was like, "Oh, please, just give me the bag." Anna,
I carry it alone.
Yeah, no, you were like, "No, it's not a big deal." I was like, "I got it. I'll take care of it." I thought I was going to collapse. So that's my thorn for the trip.
No.
Now I'm going to follow right along with you guys on the bud. Being able to, I don't know, spend time together and mesh so well, I think it's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of good conversations. For only being here for like 2-3 days, it's amazing, like dinners, and I don't know, every part of the day has been fun with you guys, so that's really special to me, and it means a lot. Getting to meet a good friend of yours, and then also getting to spend more time with you.
We love Danielle in this house.
Yes.
Okay.
And bud, wait, Rose. So much good for the trip already. You know what? I'm going to say my rose for the trip was going through the travel from LA to here, figuring out the train ride, and taxi situation from the airport to the hotel, and then hotel over to the Eiffel Tower, and then walking up the stairs and seeing all you guys waiting at the top of the volleyball, beach volleyball
Stadium.
stands was super cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the reunion when that happened. It was pretty amazing.
I feel like it's like in my brain a core memory. Like it's like
Yeah.
gonna be like engraved
I remember,
in my noggin of like Michael
You guys
coming
up
around
there.
the corner, us like he's here. So it was wonderful. That was such a good moment.
Yeah, and such a cool way to start off a trip.
Yeah. Also shout out to you for the independence of like popping on a flight and figuring it all out yourself.
Independent, baby.
Independent. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of both of you. And I'm so happy that you're here. Thanks for sharing this podcast episode with me and also sharing this trip with me. And you guys, we did it. A little exclusive 2-in-1 episode this week. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you don't forget to follow me on The Anna Guide on Instagram and TikTok. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to give this a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a little heart on it because I love you so much. And I can't wait to share even more of these podcast episodes with you and so much more to come. Thanks so much for listening. Bye, guys.